Hello, guys. Welcome to another trade recap. Today we got two shorts and two losses, and I'm gonna first explain why I was looking to the shorts, and then we can go over. I mean, you can already read the notes, right? But um, we're gonna go over what I actually did wrong today and why I also got lucky today. But yeah, let's go ahead and start with why I went short. So this is gonna be the MES chart. So I was looking pretty much at the 1 hour and the 4 hours. So when we go into the morning, I was already watching the trade over here. So we can see the trend pretty much, pushing low, making higher lows and lower lows. And in the morning, I saw price pretty much was around here. And I was like, okay, first of all, I like the longs first because how structure was since overnight we see we have this push higher, then we see Asia holding buyers and also London made a new high over here. So pretty much buyers are in. We can also see it on the 15 much better. So we can see that we had the push higher at the close of yesterday, and then Asia was able to hold price, make new highs. London also was able to hold the buyers here. So I was looking to probably see if we can continue higher, but also I was looking at the 4 hour 1 hour, exactly more specifically to the 4 hour, and I was like, okay, we're in a tricky area because we can see the trend is moving lower over here. I really want to see how we open and how price behaves at open, because just in the area that I'm seeing over here, and it's not because of the fair value gap, by the way. It's just like following structure. I think we can see a higher low form here to continue low into actually what we did today. And going into the 1 minute, we can see that we have this huge drop at open. Now, I kind of recall like 2 weeks ago we had a drop like this, but I checked the news. I was checking financial news and everything. There was no news about this, so I was like, okay, this is not news. It's just sellers are in. You know, so once I saw this push lower broke the range in here, I was like, okay, let's see if we can find a short. And I was looking for the break and retest of BWAPs. And once I saw price retested the overnight over here with the previous day and then rejected lower closing under New York BWAP, we can see the close over here. I took the short. Now, this is kind of like where I fucked up. We can see that pretty much the range, we draw pretty much like 100 points over here. So that's a hella fucking ton of points for ES. We're pretty volatile. And also the stop on this trade, it was 58 points. So I took this trade with the wrong idea. I was looking when I took this short, I was like, fuck, like I need to take the trade right now because the stop is already too big, you know? Like I need to get a good entry. This stop is gonna be too big. And if I wait for another candle closure, if I was already like assuming prices are gonna go lower, I wasn't watching it. I was assuming already that. And if I see a kind of closer over here, fuck, now the stop is gonna be what, fucking 70 points now, like around here. Yeah, almost 70 points. So like, fuck, I need to get into this trade right now. So that was the first mistake that I did today. Lucky Luckily, I took the trade on a challenge, and I didn't know that because I have 4 accounts over here. So this was one of the challenges that I took a trade on. This is the ignites over here on top. The 2F12 accounts. Those are gonna be the ones that I bought for the Bogo promotion, and I didn't know that. So I in my head I actually went one micro. So in my head I was just trading the funded, and yeah, that was my idea going into the trade, which is totally wrong idea. This is the second time that I record this, and this is because I just went on a fucking rant, bro. I talk too much. You already know me, guys. I talk too much. So when I was talking about the trade and the shorts, I noticed. Well, I come to an acknowledgement that the main issue over here, yeah, I was impatient. I was not patient enough. Yeah, I was kind of FOMO into the move. But the main thing here it was that I was not willing to accept the risk of the trade. The stop was too big. I was only looking at the stop. It's too big. It's too big. I need to enter now. So I was not willing to put the risk on for the full stop because I mean I initially had my stop here, but to be honest, the stop should be all the way over here. This is a break and retest. The stop needs to be here. The trade's getting validated once we break open a range high. That's the correct stop. I placed my stop here above the swing high. I mean, it never got touched, but still, I was not willing to take the full risk on the trade. I was watching the stop, it was too big. And instead of just waiting out to see if we can get better structure or a better entry, I took the short and I mean, I got the consequence over here. I got out over here despite the fact that it was a trade on the combine. I didn't notice until I closed the trade out. I didn't notice like around 11ish, like around here. I didn't notice it was the challenge account. So I was already like in the mind of, oh fuck, I took the loss. I should have waited a bit more. I was too impatient. I was this and that. And yeah, I mean, I think it's just important to acknowledge these mistakes, even though they're made on the combines, because I don't want for this to bleed on my funded accounts, because yeah, I mean it already did, because in my mind I was trading the funded. So I was too impatient. I did not accept the full risk, and the correct thing was not wait. It was just pretty much not trade. I think the correct approach for it was to just skip the trade. The stop is too fucking big, for this. Like, and if I'm not willing to take the risk for this stop size, I'm not taking the trade. That should be the thing to do. Not just wait one more minute, maybe, but I think the main thing should be not take the trade. If you're not willing to take the risk, don't take the trade. And I will 100% say that, because as soon as I started actually knowing how much I'm gonna be losing on my trades and accepting the risk of the base risk that I'm currently using on my account, which is around 400 $300, well, the losses felt like nothing. And today that loss actually like kind of hurt me. Mentally, I was like so drained out of this drawdown over here that it actually led into my second trade over here. I took the short over here on another combine, because at this point I was like, okay, I'm not gonna take another trade on the funded, because I mean I never took the trade on the funded, but I did notice, okay, we're back into this range again, bro. Like, we tried to pull out of the range, now we sucked in back again. We're kind of chopping over here. Did not fully like this first action. I want to see if we can, now that we can go again lower. NQ's also was looking pretty weak, so I was like, now where we can now that we close again below, I can look for another leg lower. And this also kind of remind me of gesture press action, that we pretty much move around BWAPs above, and then we close under, and then we get another move lower. So that was my initial idea for the short. And as I took the short, I got into profit, really good profit, 20 points. I didn't notice that we're pretty volatile. We already got 20 points over here. I didn't close the trade, which is, I don't want to say I wanted to close it with it, but I mean it was a good profit. Um, held the trade. Price went back to my entry. Then sat around BWAPs. Kind of closed above here, rejected over here. Then didn't close fully under opening range low. Then I saw price closing above BWAP, and I was like, okay, bro. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm mentally tired, bro. Like, this trade over here kind of affected my mental into the morning. And I think especially this move over here, because as soon as I took the trade, I was immediately in drawdown. I was like, motherfucker, bro. Like, I took the trade over here, and it went just like straight on the opposite side, and I was like, fuck, bro. And I really wanted to wanted to close the trade over here, because past on my past losses, I've been noticing that as soon as I take the trade and it goes immediately on drawdown, I have noticed that I'm most likely gonna get stopped out, or my idea is invalidated, most of the time. So I wanted to take the trade out over here, but I was like, okay, let's just you know chill, chill for a bit. Let's see if we can close underneath again. And Q's looking really weak. Um, we have the higher time from people. It's normal that we're gonna be dancing around like this. But once I saw the move lower over here, and where Pride was not willing to close underneath here, I was like, okay, peace out, bro. Like, if we take this high, I'm gonna be out of the trade. I don't like this how we're behaving over here. And yeah, price ended up going lower. Probably I could have like got a stop over here. sorry, TP over here, or even hold the trade a little bit longer and get a better exit over here. But I mean, everything comes down that I was not willing to accept the risk, and that was what caused the issue today. And yeah, it was FOMO. Yeah, I was impatient. It was FOMO because I wanted to be in the trade and I didn't want to miss the trade for the shorts. It was impatient because I was looking at the stop and I was not even willing to wait a little bit longer to get better structure for a better stop. But everything comes down that I was looking at the stop. I was just not willing to accept the full risk. It was fucking 60, 50 points of stop. I was not willing to accept that, So I took the short, and this is what happened. I was lucky I was not trading on my fundeds, and it was just one micro still because of the stop. But it just got to me, bro, because of the mistake that I did. I was like, fuck, like I should be more patient. And when I was recording this recap before, I was like, bro, like it was just it was the main thing for me today was just I didn't accept the risk because the stuff needs to be over here, first of all. And if I'm not willing to put myself over here, then I shouldn't be in the trade. Just stay fucking flat. You have been flat already 2 days this week. Does it really make a difference if you take another flat day, because you don't like the trade, you don't like the stop loss? It doesn't really make a difference, bro. It's just pretty much my fucking ego at this point, getting into my way. And yeah, guys, I mean, I think just the ego kind of like got into the way too. So I mean, the good thing is that I was able to make those mistakes on the challenges, But I mean, I don't want to be catching myself getting these mistakes on the funded for real, And it's funny because I remember I think not so long ago I actually had this opportunity to take a trade, but I remember I stayed out because for me the stuff was too big and I kind of like did not take the trade. I think it was on Monday, no, if I recall correctly. I'm not sure, but this thing of not taking the trade because of the sub, I had done that shit before. I don't know what happened to me today. If I'm being honest, guys, I think it was just like kind of like I think that just the mentality of knowing that I wanna be getting a payout or getting a more profit on my funds. I think got to me today too. So I think it's just like a lot of stuff gets involved here, right? Like the ego, the FOMO, the impatient, not willing to accept the risk, wanted to pretty much take a trend of funded, wanted to get into profit into the trades, into the accounts. So a lot of stuff going over here in my head. For sure, this day is gonna be more psychological and technical because I mean the entry is right at BWAP, I mean, if we get picky, we can say that this was not a really good close under BWAP, and we can probably wait for another closure too. But again, it will just come back to the same shit. I was just like, I was not willing to take the risk, even if this closes here or even this closes here, I think that it will be just a not trade today, just miss out the trade. It's fine. Um, Tomorrow the market's gonna be open again. The market is not gonna go anywhere, you know it's just like I think that the correct choice today was just for me at least just stay flat. The stop was too big, not really worth it. Probably if I would like had stayed out of this trade, I will be able to take a trade over here for this short scalp back to belly RLO, or even like hold the trade to get a better exit over here, closer to previous low level, or even here or here. But I think the correct thing for me was just stay out of this trade and maybe take this trade. I like better this trade just because we get so much better closure though, and also because we really form structure. And I think that was another thing that it's gonna be important for me to take in consideration these ranging days. It's just like just wait for more structure so we can have a better stop placement like here. I think that will be the main takeaway for this, despite the fact, let's say, just like let's avoid the option of staying flat today, whatever. I think the other approach that I can take on these trades or on these days is just like if we have the big range, don't take the first trade, the first idea, just wait for price to get more structure like this, and then we can look for a trade over here, like a short scalp over here or something like that. Especially because the overnight and the previous day are in the range, so we already know that these are magnets for price, and also because they're pretty much like squeezing, like we're pretty much tight, or I guess overlap at this point, So we know they're gonna attract price, and price most likely is gonna be doing this type of shit that he's doing right now because the BWAPs are so close. So that's another thing. Like we can just remove the oh, because I fucked up this and that. So I think the thing that we can do better for this type of days, it's just like wait for better structure, wait for more structure, more information, because we have this huge ass range. And then once we get another confirmation like this that sellers are in again, we can just take their profits once the 50-minute candle closes. So I think that's gonna be the correct approach. Or even you want to wait later in the day. There's a short over here, so we can take more profits here. There's a short over here, maybe here or here, a short over here to take some profits here too later in the day. I would not be trading this, because it's too late, and also because I mean we're still in the range though. But just like the same price, right? Pace, bro. We have been talking about this week. Here, 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 and currently I think we're out. Oh, yeah, we're already closed the market. So yeah, I mean I think that's gonna be the what I can do better in this type of situations and better on this rates is gonna be that. Wait for better structure, and just be willing to stay out, to miss out, bro. I really want to miss out, but I mean that's gonna be the option. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for me for today. I really pretty much I talked to myself. I don't want to say talk to myself, but I mean I did a recap. Like this is the second time that I did a recap because I just talk too much, bro. All the ideas get into my head and shit. And I mean that's good because I mean that's the point of the videos, like so I can get my ideas flowing and understand what I actually did wrong, what I can do better, because last video that I recorded, I pretty much talk about that I fucked up, that what I actually got into dial in, why I took the loss and why I was just too impulsive to push into the FOMO, and we got to the root cause that I was just not willing to accept the risk of the stuff. And now on the second take, now I'm able to see, okay, so like in this type of scenarios, in this type of trading days, what I can do better. Yeah, don't take a trade, but how I can find a trade on this type of days, and that's where I'm telling over here. That we can just wait for better structure. We have a bigger ass range. We just wait for better structure, so we can have a more congruent stop. And now we can just take a short scalp over here. Even if you just want to wait a little bit longer, we can just time it on the launch 130 over here. Take a short over here and take the profits over here and again over here. So for sure, I'm gonna do those markups once I finish my DRC. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys made money today. And if not, if you got chopped up on this price action, well, we just time to review and see what we can do better on these trades. And again, just taking this in, let the mistakes happen, and just learn from them. I think that's it, the biggest thing. I just keep reminding myself every time I get a loss or just I don't know what the fuck the market is doing, just take in, take the notes, do the markups so it doesn't happen again, or you can have a better understanding of the market. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys have an awesome day and see you guys tomorrow for the last day of the week. Take care.